Hey, Anna. Where have you been, girl? I didn't see you at the holiday office party. Oh, Maya, I'm so glad you called. I've needed a friend to lean on. I think I got woke this weekend. Spill the beans.
Call me a banana, but I went down to Havana to buy my secret Santa a present today. But I slipped on a banana, woke up in a cabana, sipping rum and orange Fanta, so I think that I'll stay. My secret Santa's rich and handsome. He drives a fancy car. I knew
You don't know
just what
Anna
to
Gassar
get
and
him.
Maya Rudolph singing this?
Oh, I didn't know this was them.
He finds my story.
It's Anna's album, Sugar and Booze.
He says I laugh too loud.
Anna.
Okay.
But now I see how life can be. I'm brassy and sassy and proud. So
I find it very funny. Very funny. Danny was saying that single life wasn't very good for you in between marriages.
It was tough
Why is
because so all my friends were gone. Not that I lost my friends,
No.
but they weren't around. In other
Yes.
words, you know, they live all over the state, you know, or some of them were married, had kids, and
Yeah.
so the weekends when you're in your late 30s and or mid to late 30s and you're divorced,
Yeah.
or going through a divorce, nobody's around. So everybody would look forward to the weekends, except me, because at 5 o'clock on a Friday, I was like, okay, now what do I do with myself for the next 48 hours? It was tough. It was tough, and I, you know, it's like you're by yourself. Well, take myself out to dinner, and now, oh, maybe I'll go to a Red Wings game by myself. Now maybe I'll go to a club by myself.
Yeah, I think like I know exactly what you're saying. I think that I had
Because I have no kids either.
right. So, but my kids, when everybody moved, and I agreed to let them move, thinking it would be a better quality of life for the kid. I hear you, but I had friends that had bars that owned places.
Yes.
And then I think what could have been really bad could have been the pandemic. But I had friends who owned places, so
Like bars.
yeah. So we would go in there and just drink the booze and hang out.
You got to take care of the inventory.
And we would do some work, like we were changing, you know, like we
Yeah.
were working in there. We were, and by work I mean redoing floors or whatever. So yes, I have certainly felt that. I have said to people that, you know, at my age, everybody's involved with their family, so they don't have time to go out. I think that was maybe the first year or two. Now I'm okay. And then with this, the podcast, I mean, I'll just lay the cards on the table. It's a tremendous amount of work. If you're going to make this work, you're doing everything. You know, I was joking earlier about the sales department and the promotional team, and it's all me.
Yeah, I know.
Right? It's all me, and I know you know, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
my joke is that, so, like, when I say that I was here till, did I
How's a promotions van?
make it worse?
Did Carmen give us a promotions van?
by drinking a little bit last night? Probably, but at the same time, I mean, most of my nights wrap up somewhere between 12 and 1 in order to make this thing go forward. But I enjoy doing it. And it also is, you know, to your point, takes the loneliness out, right? But if you're going to start a business, most people start them when they're young and don't have anybody around. Well, I'm older and I choose not to have anybody around, right? I chose not to be married, and then I chose... my kids are a little bit older, and then the youngest one lives out of state. So, but then after that, I don't choose. That's why you could go. I mean, you could put me up on "Are we dating the same guy?" .com, and the answer is no, because nobody is.
Yeah, right.
Nobody is. So,
And who would brag about that anyway?
that's fine.
I'm dating Bill Moran.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to think people would brag about it, Dan, if it were happening.
All right, okay. Fair enough.
But I hear what you're saying in terms of, like, just overall loneliness. That was my thing yesterday was, because my dad said, oh, you're going to be with your mom. I saw your blurb. I didn't listen to your show, but I saw your blurb. And I had said yesterday, you don't know where you fit in. My point being that you were married, you had kids, you had Christmas was kind of that crazy, chaotic, fun time. And now I don't have my kids and stuff. So I go I'm like, hey, Uncle Bill's got nowhere to go. So he's going to come, you know what I mean? And you're by yourself. You're not with your kids or your wife or so you feel like, where do you fit in?
Right.
Where do you fit in? Like last year, at least, I had Jameson with me, and we went down to my sister's. This year I didn't have any. I don't have anybody with me, and so if my mom didn't have hip surgery that was preventing her from going somewhere, I probably would have been at my sister's, and then but that's fine. I don't know. I guess in the long run, yes, I see exactly what you're saying, and I've been almost 5 years. How long were you in between? 3?
2015 to 29, 4 years.
4 years. Yeah, but how long before you started dating Beth?
4 years. That's what I mean. 4 years.
4 years before you even started dating her.
Yes.
But you were dating other people.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like nobody could stick. It was just like, okay.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, and I get it, because I've even bits like you wouldn't go. You want to go to a concert, you want to go do something, you want to come down to Fairport Canal Days.
By the way, I'd also gotten laid off too, so like I just
sure where we're going with that.
Well, no, so I didn't have a ton of money. I had to really be careful.
Oh,
that was what was difficult. Was like, I was I had a job here and there, but it wasn't easy.
I would say that if anybody finds themselves in a situation, because this is the time of year where people start considering divorce. I think there's a whole, if you talk to lawyers, divorce lawyers, their business starts to pick up after Thanksgiving. And then I think it gets really roaring in that first week of January, all this stuff.
All the way to Valentine's.
I think I really think that that's true. And I would just say to anybody, if that's where you're going, make sure that you are doing it for, I guess any reason is a right reason. You can't say what's a right reason or not a right reason, but, we all see the what's her name, Amy Robach, and the guy from GMA 3, and then she used to be married to Andrew Shue, who was on, I don't know.
No, Melrose Place.
Yeah. And
good for him.
Yeah.
We thought.
But they left their partners,
yes,
and are now together. And I don't know that they didn't leave for each other, or that it just happened to coincide. I have no idea. I would just say that you would want to give yourself a chance to what is the term? Process all that.
Yeah.
I suppose I don't process anything.
How about just heal?
But maybe get to know yourself.
Yeah.
What do you like? What do you like? Have your systems, figure out who you are, do all that stuff. And bite the bullet and have some time alone. Go out to dinner by yourself. Go sit at a bar and have dinner and have a conversation with complete strangers and do all that stuff. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Try to keep yourself from going down a spiral of drugs or alcohol. Because it's very easy.
Oh, yeah, which, by the way, I did not do.
No, but I mean, I could certainly.
If I weren't saved, I would probably be like,
oh, saved my butt.
Oh, no, don't tell me that, because I'm capable of like all kinds of issues if I don't have God.
Okay, but
the point is, it's like I was never a drug addict.
Neither was I.
Okay, let me back up.
A lot.
Let me put it this way. I've never been tempted to do drugs. Some people have that temptation.
Yeah.
I think it's because of the home I was brought up in and everything else.
But
to this day, I've never been tempted to try drugs ever. I didn't drink alcohol till I turned 21. It's
nerd.
Yeah, right. I know, right. And so, and even like when I was, single, like if I had a drink, it would be like on the weekend. It wouldn't be during the week or anything like that.
Well, I don't think that there's.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those things.
No,
but I did not want to open the door to woe is me. Glug, 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 glug.
Well, the problem with me is like I'm
not saying that is you. I'm just saying for me.
I know.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Even if you were saying that, I would go, well, fuck off, Danny. I'm telling you. No,
promotions department's thirsty.
Yeah. Well, my thing is like, there were times I like to go and have a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And then I would go home and then I'd have 2 or 3 and then I'd have to, because you just, there's no one there to stop you. There's no one there to go, well, should he have another one? Not that even my wife, when I was married, would do that. I don't know. I would just say, having a little being able to govern yourself a little bit is important. I think being able to sort through things and really kind of give yourself to get some clarity. I don't know about heal and process and all that stuff. Yeah, a lot of that's in the past.
I felt like I was worthless.
No, well, but a lot of that's.
I felt worthless.
Okay.
I felt worthless.
Yeah. Well, you are. No, I don't.
God don't make no junk, Billy.
No, I'm just saying, like, I can understand where you you would, or you feel like you failed, or whatever. But I think that's our biggest problem, a lot of times, is that that's not this moment. That was then.
Yeah.
That isn't Dan today.
Oh,
That
yeah.
isn't-
I'm 180 degrees from that guy.
Well, no, but what I'm saying, like, even in that moment, I think a lot of times we carry guilt. It's self-induced. I don't think
it's
that
the worst thing you could carry with you is guilt.
But I think that, and a lot of us do, and it's been what we were taught. It was the house you grew up in.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't try drugs. I'm not saying that you should have. I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of that, guilt. Ooh, what would they think? And so we start living conditionally for other people. Well, that's not necessarily good. I think you have to learn, like, that was then. Put it down. There were things that I know what I don't want. Now let me get what I want.
Right.
But let's not stay stuck on this person. Don't justify, and try not to. Here would be another thing I would say. This I think is very important. You will have a lot of people, if you go through you dissolve a marriage, where they will come to you and they will say things like either what they believe is in support, like, well, that person, blah, blah, blah. Or they may even say, well, you certainly, say nothing. Say nothing. Because at one point, you didn't feel the way you may feel about that person now.
Yeah.
Right? Or you may have decided this person, we just don't line up anymore, whatever it was. But I think, like, I would never, ever, ever say anything that would be of a negative consequence, because no matter what, that's still the mother of my children. And I'm not trying to make it sound like you're some kind of hero. My only advice to somebody would be cautious with your words and whom you say them to. Yeah. Because truthfully, it reflects more on you than it does the other person.
Absolutely.
And if somebody is trying to bait, not even bait you, but try to say, I appreciate you checking in on me, or I appreciate seeing you. Hey, let's get a drink. How about those Yankees? How about those Buffalo Bills?
Yeah.
Something. Mm-hmm. Change the subject and just don't talk about it, because no good's going to come of it, because somebody's going to overhear something. And it's going to get back.
They're going to run with it.
You don't need that. And the point is, you made a decision. Anybody can speculate as to why. It's none of their fucking business.
Right.
Unless you decide to make it their business. And once you start doing that, and then you really go, you ever hear these people? Well, let me tell you about that son of a bitch. After a while, you're like, I don't want to see this.
You don't want to be around this person.
Right. Exactly. So try to keep those things.
You don't want to be the black hole.
No.
You don't want to be Eeyore.
No. Exactly.
I learned that during that process.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other thing is, start working out.
Yeah.
Get a little
take care of yourself,
because that'll get you some confidence.
Yeah.
That makes you start feeling good. You start to see change and progress in your body. People start reacting to you differently. All of a sudden, it's like, hey, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'm not that bad. Right. And all that stuff.
Get your hair did.
I was reading something about, I'm not a big true crime. I'm sure I would say I've watched like 48 Hours and those things. And those are true crime stuff, but true crime podcasts are the biggest podcast, man. They are.
Women love that stuff. It's women who eat that stuff up.
It's just a little scary to me.
Yeah. It's like, if I want to plan someone's murder.
Yeah.
Now, my wife's not into the true crime stuff. She's into like Criminal Minds and NCIS and like Castle and all those like murder mystery shows.
Yeah. Well, if you're thinking to yourself, I don't know my neighbors because I'm quiet and I keep to myself. You're the murderer. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Because I don't know if you should try to be friendlier in 2024 to your neighbors because you don't want them to suspect. But true crime is the biggest genre. Well, CBS, a lot of their shows you could call it.
Yes.
No, they're not. They're dramatizations. They're
dramatizations.
But I think
the 48 Hours is a CBS show.
Yeah. And that's true crime.
Yeah.
And some of this stuff is very interesting. It was Matthew Perry's stepfather is the, what's his name? He's the reporter for CBS's 48 Hours. He's the skinny guy.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
And then she went down the stairs and was met by a hammer. Something like that. Would you watch a true crime with Beth? So, do you watch them?
No.
You don't watch them?
No.
Why?
The true crime stuff or the stuff that Beth watches?
No, the true crime stuff.
No, I don't.
You know,
because in all honesty, you only have so many hours, and I don't watch much television. If I watch something, it's got to have a purpose. Like a football game has a purpose.
Okay.
A baseball game has a purpose.
Yeah.
You know, sports are pretty neutral
Hang
when
on
it
a
comes
second.
to
A
like
Hallmark movie. What's the purpose? Makes you feel good.
Yeah,
Can make you feel good.
like I'll watch a
Little
comedy.
uplifting?
Like
Yeah.
there's this new show on Max that I've been watching. It's called The Bookie. It's actually kind of funny. Sebastian
It's on-
Maniscalco's in it.
HBO Max.
It's on HBO Max.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a half hour show, but it's pretty funny. But I mean, I don't want to. I don't watch empty calorie television. And to me, true crime is empty calorie television.
Okay.
I'm not going to kill anybody. I hope nobody kills me.
Well,
and if they
sometimes-
do kill me, then I go to hang out with Jesus the rest of my
you-
life.
yeah.
So you know what? I really don't need to know who did what or how.
I want to get you a T-shirt that says, "Go ahead, kill me. I'm going to spend the rest of my time with Jesus." And you're not. You're not invited.
I want to get the shirt
sinner.
that says, "Y'all need Jesus." Those are nice shirts.
But do you think she would watch true crime on a plane, where like a kid could peek through the seat and see what you're looking at?
She might, but you got to you have headphones though, right?
You have headphones, but you kind of, I mean, sometimes you can see what somebody's watching.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
I was. So we were on a flight back from Austin, and I watched this movie with Sebastian Maniscalco and Robert De Niro.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I
forgot what it was
something
called.
of my father.
Yeah, About My Father. It was
About
called.
My
And
Father.
it was cute.
It was?
It's nothing really memorable.
Okay.
It's just your typical, whatever. But the guy ahead of me was watching this Mafia Mama show.
Yeah.
And I'm peeking through. I'm like, this looks like the hokiest, hackiest mafia dramatization. Bad act. I could tell the acting was bad.
When anybody getting shot, blood splattering.
Yeah.
the screen. Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
On the plane.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Like, okay, hey, to each their own.
yeah, it is teach their own.
Meanwhile, my wife's watching The Hobbit. I'm like, okay,
Does
great.
she like that stuff?
Yeah. She likes the Tolkien stuff. She
Yeah.
likes the Lord of the Rings.
You don't at all.
No. She loves Star. Okay, so we had a deal, and I didn't make her do this. We still haven't watched The Godfather Part 3. I told her, you really don't need to see The Godfather Part 3. She says, I'll watch the Godfather movies with you if you watch Star Wars. I'd never seen Star Wars. I never cared to see Star Wars. I think Star Wars is stupid. The whole idea, but the whole concept of it, I hate it. I bloody hate it.
Why?
Hate it. Hate it. It's an empty. Okay, here's why. Here's why I hate it.
Star Wars to me is every story ever. It's the Bible. It's good versus evil.
Right. It is.
And I think it's probably the better version of that, because I think that I don't think there are these demons and all this. I think there may be a privation of good, which is a very base philosophical thing.
I've always had a theory that they stole Star Wars from The Godfather.
Okay, maybe.
And the reason is because the main character in The Godfather is not Don Corleone, it's Michael Corleone. And Michael, when he flips and decides he's going to join his father's business after he was forbade to do it, he all of a sudden doesn't realize while he's trying to help, he's joining the dark side. Darth Vader was Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
He joined the dark side.
Yeah.
To me, I've always made that case because Francis Ford Coppola and George Lucas were best pals. But the reason I've hated Star Wars is because it has caused American men to live in a state of arrested development the rest of their lives. They say, it's the same thing as watching sports. No, it's not. Sports are real. You need athletic. I mean, guys work their whole lives to get to the NFL, not to write some fantasy story in space with swords. I think that Star Wars has actually helped slow down. Actually, that's not the word, but it's contributed to the arrested development of the American male. I really believe that.
Well, maybe, I would think.
I love Transformers as a kid. I've never seen a Transformers movie. I loved He-Man as a kid. I saw the He-Man movie when I was 7 years old. If they come out with another one, I might watch it out of curiosity. I've outgrown that stuff.
All right, but hang on. What about video games and things though?
Never played
that are
them.
so entrenched, that was what you did, and the video games have gotten so advanced.
Yeah,
and so
I
incredible.
stopped playing my last video game at 15 years old.
I think that's a bit bigger contributor to.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Arrested development. I also think that the proliferation of the gambling apps, where you pay more attention to that than maybe real life relationship.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you would just
That's
people.
it's called
I
empty
think those
calorie
things-
entertainment.
But I don't. But even there though, it's a little more. It's a little more fun because you're trying to guess the outcome of something and you're involved in it. So you're doing a little bit more. The Star Wars stuff, I never got into it, but I was very little when they came out. I was 7 when Star Wars came out. I watched that. And then I think I saw Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And then after that, it was nothing. I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe with the older boys when they were little, but I just never could get into the stories after that. It never appealed to me. I found some of them, you couldn't get away from Yoda. It kind of got into the American pop culture.
Well, I was in high school in the 90s when they redid the movies and brought them back.
Yeah.
And it raised another generation of idiots. And it's like,
Well, I don't know that
I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. But it's like, I just don't understand it. Like, I don't live, like, people like, why? My favorite scary movie is Scream. You want to know why? Because Scream could totally happen in real life. There's no elements of the supernatural. The Godfather is really several mob stories wrapped into one. Could totally happen in real life. Star Wars ain't happening in real life.
No, but I think it's based on
good versus evil.
Yeah, good versus
I
evil,
get all
the whole
that.
thing.
Yeah, and that's cute. If you like that, that's cool. Yeah. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying.
You are. Yes,
okay,
you are.
I am.
You just said raising a pack of idiots. They're out in space playing with swords. You even did this little thing with your hand. They're out in space playing.
Because how old are you?
Well,
50 years old, and you're watching. You're like in line, dressed up as an Ewok to go watch the Star Wars.
But here's the thing. Everybody
it's the same thing as pro sports.
Look,
no, it's not.
Everybody has their thing.
Yeah, God bless you.
Everybody has their thing that they like to just kind of go and do. Do you have any guilty pleasure at all?
I don't believe in guilty pleasures. You like what you like.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
You like what you like.
Is there anything that you would
that I like
that someone would say that's your guilty pleasure?
Taylor Dane's a very talented singer.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, she's very underrated.
But I like you secretly watch anything that nobody knows about?
No, not at all. Right. I don't have any secrets really. My life's pretty open book.
Yeah, mine's pretty open book too. But I think I probably will take a peek at porn more often than I ever have at this point.
Like I once said that the Righteous Brothers song, what was that song? Unchained Melody is like the greatest song ever written. And people are like, oh, you're gay. I'm like, why is that? I'm like, listen to it. It's amazing. It's.
I always thought the Beach Boys, God Only Knows.
That's a great song.
It was like one of the most beautiful songs.
I mean, Madonna, like a Prayer is a beautiful song. I mean, like you turned it up and like, you like that? I'm like, yeah, well, you're a guy. Yeah, so what? So what if I like that song? You like Pat Monahan from from Train said, you like what you like.
Yeah.
And God bless you. Good for you. That's cool. But like, I just can't get into childlike stuff.
All right.
I just can't do it.
Put away their childish ways.
Well, yeah. Well, it says in Proverbs. When I was a child, I did childish things.
If you were going to live like you were dying,
yeah,
what would you change going into 2024?
Oh, man.
If you were going to live like you were dying, what would you change? I would change my eating habits. And I think I would try to pack. I would make a bigger priority of doing things.
Okay, so if you say you're living like you're going to die.
Well, we say this, right?
Okay.
We got that.
I would travel. I would travel more. I wouldn't leave the country though. I think the rest of the world. I think we're like the last country that the world hasn't infected with its idiocy.
What?
Oh gosh, dude.
I would love to go to Spain, France, Italy. You don't want to go down to the Tuscan coast to Italy?
You can have it.
I would do all that.
There's a reason the ancestors left.
I'm sure there is, but it's
there's
still
a reason.
beautiful.
There's a reason everybody comes here. Nobody ever leaves America. Everybody comes here.
People leave.
And they all come back.
Sometimes. But I would love to see the rest of the world. I think it would be interesting.
It might be
England.
If it's not football season, perhaps.
Look at you.
But I'll tell you what. I mean, I'd love to visit. I'd love to see the United States. I'd love to see the country.
Well,
I'd love to experience. Those. I mean, those food shows.
So
I was never big on those food shows.
Yeah.
But at the Anthony Bourdain, but at the end of the day, it's not just the food. He's seeing the world and how they make the cuisine and everything else.
But you won't see the world,
right? But
you'll see the USA.
But man, I'll take American food, man, all day, all day. Give me a Pomani sandwich in Pittsburgh and let's go.
Right.
But yeah, I would travel more and do stuff like that.
Well, then start doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Start making it a priority.
I would love to.
Yeah, do a little bit of that stuff. I think that would be living like you're
maybe
dying.
take steroids.
I would say anybody should do that. Don't do that.
No.
Live like you were dying as you head into 2024. Get more out of 2024.
I would also try to lead more people to Jesus because I think the end times are coming. Folks, pay attention this Christmas season. Sorry.
What are you sorry for? You just said you want to lead people to Jesus. I was giving you a platform.
Okay.
Once the music ran out, I was turning the mics off. For Dan Barillo, I'm Bill Moran.
God bless you. Merry Christmas.
That's right. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. Go Bills.